Greetings, everyone. DFG here, Gideon Flight. Hey, guys. Just want to continue on, a past conversation that I've been talking about in the last couple of videos. No, I'm not talking about, the LGBTQ, emasculating, homosexual, sissy, girlified uh, freak show that the Perels and the Wades and all the rest of them are putting on. Not those freak show, not that conversation. The detestable, abominable, actions and behaviors that are attacking our children. No, not that. I want to continue on talking about, building a culture. What is a tribe? Are we being challenged by Yahuwah to be a tribe? Are the things that we're confronted with today, are they intentional or are these just chance and circumstance? So I want to take you on a journey again. If you'll have me, in our book, okay? This book. All right? This is our history book. This is probably the truest book, if that's a word, that has ever been written. Not only does this book have documented historical facts that can be proven, but it also gives prophecy, foretelling of future events, both current and future events that cannot be disproven. So when you talk about this book, there has never been a book comparable to this book. Your book, talking about you Hebrew Israelites, okay? Your book in particular. Not that others can't learn from this book, and surely they have, and learn how to manipulate us with our own book. Like somebody pulling a gun and send someone on a person to rob them, and then that person snatch the gun out of their hand and shoot them with their own damn gun. That's what has happened to us in terms of being robbed of our book, and then that knowledge from this book has been used to subjugate our people even up until this present time. But if you would bear with me, and I pray that you do, let me take you on a little journey of knowledge and just to give you a taste of why I'm taking such a solid, strong stand for the utilization of this tool, guys, in helping us to understand the importance of a community, and equally helping us to understand who you actually are. Okay, so I'm going to go to the book of Jeremiah. I'm going to go to chapter 18. I'm going to start reading at verse 11, and then I'm going to give commentary as I go through. And I'll go through this pretty fast, so bear with me. But more importantly, I want you to listen intently and ask yourself the question: who put this in this book? And if this book is about someone else, who could it be talking about if it's not about you and I? Okay? Not them fake Jews, as Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 talk about. Not them. Not those ones who are over in Israel right now. I'm talking about the ones that are scattered around the earth and predominant tribes of Judah that's sitting right here in the Americas, both North, South America, and all of the islands in between. Okay? So let's go. All right, he says, now therefore go speak to the men of Judah and to the inheritance of Jerusalem, saying, thus said Elohim, behold, I frame evil against you. Behold, I frame evil against you, and devise a device against you. Return you every one from his evil way, and make your ways and your doings good. Now, when he talks about turning from either ways, he's talking about aligning ourselves up with the heathen nations, the Gentile nations. Their holidays, you got a hell of a day coming up on October 31st, Halloween. He's telling us to when he says come back, in other words, when he tells us right here again, make your ways and your doings good, he's saying pull away from those things, separate yourself from those things. I want to say it's 1 John, maybe chapter 1, 2, he said, those that love the world, the things of the world, the love of the Father is not in them. For those, and it goes on in 1 John, talking about the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. For anyone who loves those things, the love of Elohim cannot be in them. Okay, let me continue on. And they said, there is no hope. That's our people. I don't believe in the Bible. But we will walk after our own devices, and everyone will do to the imagination of his evil heart. Now think about that again. Let me read that verse to you again. Verse 12. There is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices. Tell me that don't sound like our people. Nobody can tell them anything. Nobody can say anything to them, especially those who are in position or who have the expertise to help and assist them. They don't want to hear it. Even when it comes down to this, don't tell me, that's your own opinion. Whatever they say. Just self-deception. Because why? They want, as the scripture says, everyone to do the imagination of his own evil heart. And now if you want me to get into the depths of what evil looks like, again, you're talking about abortion, you're talking about homosexuality, you're talking about murder, you're talking about prostitution, you're talking about all kind of degenerate behaviors that you see on television, online, all over this country, things that are being perpetuated and pushed in our communities that have been nothing but detrimental to us. It goes forward. 13. Therefore said Elohim, ask you now among the heathen who had heard such things. In other words, the heathens are looking at us like, damn, what's wrong with black people? So-called black people. It says, ask among the heathen who had heard such things. Do the virgin of Israel had done a very horrible thing. It goes on to say, will a man leave the snow of Lebanon, which cometh from the rock of the field, or shall the cold flowing waters that come from another place he forsaken? In other words, he said it's another way of saying, what's wrong with them? Can't they see the damage and harm that they're doing to themselves in their divisiveness and their lack of a culture, a lack of foundational truths? No spiritual community, nothing. Everything centered around self-gratification, self-edification. This is what the heathens are saying about us. And I think we know that. What's that Godfather statement, the Godfather, when they were talking about pushing drugs in the community? He said they're animals anyway, let them, when he was talking about pushing the drugs in the black community, I think the guy says they're animals anyway, let them kill themselves. That's how he felt about pushing heroin in our communities. 15, he said, because our people have forgotten me, they have burned incense to vanity. In other words, they're praying to material, praying to idols, praying to stars and superstars, praying to, to things, to really to mammon, materialistic things, money, fame, cars, notoriety, again, celebrity. They have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths, to walk in paths that, in a way, not cast up. And what it means by ancient paths means that we've forgotten who we are as a nation of people. We've walked away from who we are and we've embraced something that we're not, and what we're embracing is killing us. Mentally, physically, and most importantly, spiritually. It goes on 16. To make the clear land desolate and the perpetual hissing. Everyone that passes thereby should be astonished and wag their heads. Someone saying that every other nation on the planet looks at our people shaking their heads. Like, what the hell is wrong with them? Here it is, Yahweh made them the strongest, the most beautiful, has given them the ability to do all kind of witty things and ideas. They built nations all over the world. Everywhere they go, the people around them are blessed, but yet they're still cursed. And they're just shaking their heads saying, boy, they don't know who they are. We're paying billions of dollars to just to have asses like them and breasts like them and, and noses like them. To be able to perform athletically like them. Entertain, sing like them. And they have walked away from it. They have no clue on what they are. They have their pigmentation, have that melanin in their skin, that huge skin, that beautiful skin that doesn't wrinkle or crack. Spending billions, trillions of dollars for what Yahweh has given you, us, me, naturally. So they're shaking their head saying, what is wrong with them? 17, I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy. And I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity. That's what he's saying, because we have chosen the way of the heathens, he's going to show us his back, not his face. So all of our praying, all of our seeking him is in vain if we continue to participate in those things, those heathenistic cultures, behaviors, celebrations, festivals, dietary laws, not even diet, because they have no diets, but in their ways, all of their ways, if we don't walk away from it. what he's saying. He's going to continue to turn his back on us in our calamity. Then he goes on, then he says in verse 18, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah. For the law shall not perish from the priest, nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come, let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. Now, what he's talking about here is that your elders, individuals who are put in place, and I'm not talking about just because of their age, I'm talking about their experience, their knowledge, their compassion, their love, you know what I'm saying? They're caring about you, their children, their neighbors' children, their people. How that our people walk away from their elders. Every other ethnic group on the planet embrace their elders, seek after their elders for wisdom and knowledge, but not our people. He said, come heed to me, O Elohim, and hearken to the voice of them that contend with me. Shall evil be recompensed for good? For they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before thee to speak good for them, and to turn away thy wrath from them. Therefore deliver up their children to famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. Our children getting slaughtered in the street. The lowest of our economic situation is the lowest in the nation. Poorest of anyone, any ethnic group, men and women. More children in poverty than any other ethnic group in this country. Here it is. I didn't write it. I'm just telling you what it says. It says, therefore, deliver their children up to the famine and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. Our children killing each other in the streets. And let their wives be bereaved of their children. In other words, the mothers are crying, wives are crying because their sons and daughters are getting slaughtered out here in these streets. Who else could that be applied to? Surely not them Jews across the ocean over there. And let their wives be bereaved of their children and be widows. In other words, husbands dying. And let the men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. And let a cry be heard from the houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them, the police. Yes, let me say it again. Let a cry be heard from their houses at T.I.E, Jefferson. When thou shalt bring a troop, the police, suddenly upon them, for they have digged a pit to take me and hid the snares of my feet. Now, I just gave you a little meat. Not a lot, just a little meat. Just enough information to let you know, guys, this is not about religion at all. When I share this with you, listen to the way I talk, guys. Do I sound like a religious man? You think I give a shit about religion? And I use shit on purpose. So I want to make sure you understand. Shit, piss, the F word has nothing to do with who we are. That's all hardware. When the scripture talks about cussing, it's not talking about using tough words. There are words like bastard and piss, bitch, all kind of words already in the scripture. When it's talking about curses being condemned, not having a vision, no relationship with the Most High, no direction from the Most High, not hearing from the Most High, that's cursing. That's what curse is. When the Most High has turned his face against you, has turned his back towards you. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? And that's really what I'm going to continue to share from time to time as the Spirit gives me the pushing. Because sometimes I don't want to do this because I know some of you guys, can be. Anyway, sometimes I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it because it's what I'm put here for this particular day and this particular time to do. And I shall until Yahweh takes my spirit away. But this book is not your enemy. This book is your history. This book is your strength, your purpose, your provision, your food, your clarification, your strength, your identity. Don't let others steal it away from you. And by the name of Yahuwah, don't run away from it. Love you guys. Thank you for listening. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.